आप फॉलो करते हो PW OnlyIAS को?
मैंने सृजन
इनिशिएट
I'm trying to control my anger or I'm trying to become happier. It depends on both the parties. If they want peace, then there will be peace. If we have a slow train running in front of Vande Bharat, it is obstructing the speed of the Vande Bharat that is coming from behind. Because trains will move in sections. I think I'm the only child, so I have few responsibilities for my parents. I think I'll be able to do better if I am posted in India. May I come in, sir?
Welcome.
Morning, sir. Morning, ma'am.
Morning. Morning.
MEDHA ANAND.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
Sir, I was born in Bareilly, then brought up in Meerut and Saharanpur, and presently I'm posted at Prayagraj, sir, in Indian Railway Traffic Service, sir.
So kindly tell about yourself.
Sir, my name is MEDHA ANAND. I hail from Uttar Pradesh, and I've been to many places because of my parents' posting. And post that, I did civil engineering from HBTI Kanpur, and after that I started preparing for civil services. In 2019, I got into Indian Railway Traffic Service, and presently I'm working for Railways, sir, posted at Prayagraj, sir.
So tell me, Medha, your father works as what?
Sir, he is General Manager in UPSRTC Roadways right now.
Okay. And mother?
She's in Punjab National Bank as AGM, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So you have got a very good motivation at home.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Okay, so you think that government should run roadways?
Yes, I do. One is because my father works for it, sir.
That's all right.
Yes, sir.
We always defend our turf. But from the public point of view, do you think the expenses which government makes, is it worth the return which public gets?
So definitely it is, and the reason it is that there are certain routes which are not profitable for the private parties. They would never run their buses on those routes. For example, if there are two very small towns or village areas, only roadways has the ability to run buses on them. Secondly, sir, if you're providing freebies like giving women free travel, it is only the roadways which will adhere to government norms, and we cannot expect a private party to give such dolouts. So I think it's very important to have roadways, sir. For that matter, railways also holds a similar reasoning, sir.
Okay. But have you tried to study the world over? Are the railways being operated by the government or privately?
So there have been some cases where privatization of railways took place, but then a similar problem arose there, that on the routes which were not profitable, the private parties were not ready to move on their routes. So for example, in UK, sir, there was bunching done. Some non-remunerative routes were mixed with good routes and they were given to the private parties. But again, it was seen that on the non-remunerative routes, the private party was not so keen on running their railways, sir.
So, but do you still think that government is running the railways? Having been there for so long, you think government should run it?
So my viewpoint is that it should, because we have a huge population which is still reliant on railways, as we can see from the waiting list in railways, that there is huge demand for railways. And I agree that our services are not up to the mark, and it is because we have some constraints in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our finances, which a private party would have done better, definitely. But sir, then the prices at which we operate are also very, very low. Like for a 10 rupee ticket, I can travel for around 20 to 30 kilometers very easily. So I don't think a private party would provide it anyway, sir.
Okay. And have you heard of this 𝐂𝐻?
Yes, sir.
So
it is train collision avoidance system. Basically, when two trains will come on the same track, it will gauge that there is an impending danger in front of it, and the braking system will apply automatically, sir.
So why we have not been able to implement it? This was started quite a few years back.
Yes, sir.
Which year it was started?
So I'm not able to recall the year, but I think 1920 we had it, sir.
Yeah, 2019 the first train started with 𝐂𝐻.
Yes, sir.
So then why we have not been able to replicate it every year? Is it rocket science or the investment is very high? As a railway person, what do you think?
So one is that investments are really high for installing covered systems all across. Then sir, there are
How high?
so I'm not exactly sure of the investment part, sir, but this is one of the reasons that we are not able to implement it. So also second is that to ensure that any sort of barrier we are able to stop the train is still not implemented. So recently there was a study done in Lucknow, and there they were trying to stop the train if there was a stray animal as well. So that they have been able to do it for the first time. So I think they're waiting for technological advancements and also to get the finance, because we don't have still run on a profit. So once we do both the things, we'll be able to implement on a larger scale, sir.
Okay. You are interested in mandala art.
Yes, sir.
So what exactly it is? Can you tell something about it?
So it originates from Buddhism. So basically we draw concentric circles in it and fill it with different types of patterns. So it has a philosophical aspect to it as well. They say that each circle is a door in our minds, and once we draw it, we are able to set ourselves free from all the inhibitions that we have. For example, if I get angry easily, so while drawing mandala, I'm trying to focus on that aspect of my personality, wherein I'm trying to control my anger, or I'm trying to become happier. So that each circle is basically a door to a better personality, a better lifestyle.
So would you say that every child should learn art, or practically what happens in our families is, if you try to do art and all, people say you're wasting time. What is your view on that?
So I think it should depend on the child's ability and also his or her interest. If the child is interested in arts, we should allow the person to pursue them. But as a kid, I was not so keen on doing arts. It was only when I was during my graduation years, I got into mandala art. So it should depend on the kid whether he or she wants to engage in the arts, sir.
But the way things are progressing, kid would only like to look at mobile and that's where we are heading for. So what would you say? Should we press the children to be without mobile and do some art and games and all, or?
So I think we can even mix both of them. For example, if I'm able to draw mandala art and get new followers on Instagram, so I'll be motivated to draw it. So we can draw children towards it, that you make something, you do something creative, present it on Instagram, get good followers if you want, but then only this much time you can be on social media. Or
Yeah, so there should be time rationing.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
So Medha,
Yes.
you've done civil engineering, but you've taken sociology as your subject.
Yes.
Why the shift?
Ma'am, there are few reasons for it. One is that civil engineering had a very vast syllabus. It had around 27 books, and along with it, it would have been really difficult for me to also study GS, because GS was new for me at that time of preparation. And the other was that I inquired from few of my seniors, and they told me that you should try reading sociology, and I found interest in sociology because the topics were relevant to daily lifestyle. So that's why I pursued sociology.
So do you think the syllabus for the civil services needs to be redone? Just by the way I'm asking, because if it's for a subject you can manage with less studying, and for engineering you require 20 books or 25 books.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't you think there should be some revision or some more rationalization of the syllabus of the, or subjects should be changed for the UPSC?
Ma'am, it would be really difficult to reduce the syllabus part of it, because then we'll be
Number of
compromising.
subjects, I meant.
Pardon?
Number of subjects, and for engineering you have to study so much. So why have engineering as a subject? And very few are taking it.
Yes,
I mean, I think last time also we saw that out of all the candidates, I think engineering candidates, 1 or 2 had taken engineering. So do you think there should be some rationalization in the subjects so that all engineering, aap kariye engineering, but you can appear for the UPSC with another subject? You think that's a good idea?
Yes, ma'am, that can be done, but then we'll have to not compromise with the quality, because if we are giving civil engineering as a subject, there are few subjects which cannot be ignored. Fluid mechanics, strength of
No, you
material.
study that, but
Yes.
I'm saying for the exam, just for the exam, to appear in the exam, because no one is appearing, in civil engineering or any of the engineering subjects. Very few.
Yes, ma'am, maybe.
Rationalization would mean no particular subject should have advantage over other subjects.
Yes, sir. Sir, it depends. Like, I'll say that we should not compromise with the quality. If you're taking engineering as a subject, then you should be advised to study all the subjects, sir.
All right. Anyway, we'll move on. You know, you've given your second choice to the Foreign Service. Why?
Ma'am, I've given second as my police service.
A third choice, sorry.
Third choice.
So, I'm sorry, third.
You
don't want to go abroad, not keen. And if you do get in?
Ma'am, I'll readily take it. I don't have a problem in taking it. But it's just that I would like to be in administrative and police first and then foreign. Secondly, I think I'm the only child. So I have few responsibilities for my parents. I will take care of them even if I get into foreign services. But I think I'll be able to do better if I am posted in India and be able to be in touch with them always.
With them. What is happening in the Middle East? Are you aware right now? What's happening?
Ma'am, there are many events that are happening which are...
The main one.
the war, ma'am.
The war.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you, tell me a little bit about it. What are your views on it?
Ma'am, one is that it is disrupting the world peace. The things
in the sense, who's responsible, you think? What could be the main reason for this? And the never-ending, it's going on and on. What do you think are the key reasons? Just briefly, if you can tell me.
Ma'am, I think one is history is one of the reasons that we were not able to solve some of the problems in history, and that it is leveraging it in the present times, the Israel-Hamas war. So none of the parties can be blamed unilaterally because both are at fault. If Hamas was the first to attack, Israel also is not like a very humanitarian state or not taking humanitarian steps.
Do you think Israel should not have retaliated after the action taken by Hamas? Do you think eye for an eye is not a good policy?
Ma'am, eye for an eye is not a good policy, but then they would have retaliated, and the Hamas should have known it, that they won't be able...
They did it deliberately. They knew Israel would attack disproportionately, no?
Yes, ma'am.
They knew it.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
but they
if when you know what's going to happen and you do it deliberately, you're provoking the other side, and so you've started the war.
Yes, ma'am.
But yet, now the whole world opinion is blaming Israel. Of course, they've gone disproportionate, but they're all blaming Israel for it. So, what do you think is the way forward? Do you think there'll ever be peace?
Ma'am, it's difficult to say because it depends on both the parties. If they want peace, then there will be peace. But in the present circumstances, I don't see that there'll be a resolution to this problem in any time soon. I think the two-state solution would be a better solution for this because definitely history is to be blamed, but now we cannot rely on the past ghosts and we need to move forward. Now that the Jews are there and the Arabs also want to live in that place, it would be better that if UN intervenes and somehow they're able to make a plan where both of them survive without being disrespectful or like antagonizing towards each other.
Who will be able to enforce it? UN, has become totally, almost, unable to enforce its writ on anything. So, do you think the UN requires some reforms?
Yes, ma'am, the UN requires reforms. Along with that, it is the United States, along with the other powers, who can push both these countries to come at a middle path and ensure that there is peace and the life toll doesn't increase, like killing kids, killing the biggest hospital that was there in the Gaza Strip. These are not very humanitarian steps. So I think along with the UN, there needs to be meddling with the other powers, even by India, to ensure that
Will anyone listen to India? You think? Who will listen to India from both the sides?
Ma'am, I think Israelis should listen to us because for Hamas, there is no leader who will be willing to give it up so easily. Plus, they don't have a political representation that is able to speak to our representatives. So I think Israel, we can force...
Do you think the Hamas is a terrorist organization? Can you talk to any... Don't you think it's a terrorist organization? Can anyone talk to terrorists? Given our long history of terrorism all around, have you seen? Who can talk to terrorists? Do they listen?
Ma'am, I think it's all about perspective. For us, it is a semi-terrorist organization, but for the Palestinians, it is a force who is fighting for their cause.
But the Palestinians don't, most of the Palestinians don't support the Hamas.
Yes, ma'am, but...
You have only in the Gaza, mainly. And there was a report saying it's the US which set up the the Hamas, to counter the PLO.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, so all these nitty-gritties are going on, and undercurrents are there. So it's not an easy solution. It's very complex. Last question. We were, you know, all of last year, this year, I'm sorry. All of this year we've been busy with the G20, and we took over since December last year, the G20 presidency. Briefly, can you tell me two things? One, what was the theme, and what do you think is one of the main outcome of the G20? What do you think in your view? What was the main success or outcome of the G20?
Ma'am, the theme was, I think, One World, One Earth, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Then the main outcome from G20, I would say, is that India got an opportunity to display that it can be a world leader. With the investments flowing in and with all the industries that we are able to set up, with the funds, with the infrastructure that we were able to set up because of the G20 summit, we were able
funds? Where did the funds come from? Nobody gave us funds. I'm not aware.
Investment summit we had in Uttar Pradesh.
No, investment summit, yes, that is separate, but not related to G20.
Okay, ma'am. But we were able to make some infrastructure, the Bharat Mandapam and all these things. So I think these were a kind of show of strength from India's side, that we have the power to be a superpower in the near future. So I think that would be one of the takeaways from G20.
And one of the main things was we were able to find consensus in the deeply divided world and G20.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Your name is MEDHA.
Yes.
What is the root word of MEDHA?
What is that?
What is the root word?
So MEDHA means buddhi, like Medhavi Chhatra. Yeah. So it's basically buddhi.
What is the root word for MEDHA? Have you ever heard it?
So MEDHA, I'm not sure, sir. I think
sure.
It would be MEDHA only. Because
the root word is MEDHA. MEDHA is made. That's salutary.
Sir?
Salutary, useful.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Useful prudence, it's called MEDHA.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You mentioned your hobby that you draw mandala art, and you discuss about the philosophy of mandala. Yes, how do you relate it as a public administrator? The philosophy of mandala art.
Yes, sir.
And you are working as a public administrator. How do you relate to it?
So one is that it helps in remaining calm during stressful moments. That is one. The other is sustainability, sir. Because in Buddhism, they draw it with sand. And once they're done with it, they just let it flow in the waters, considering it as prasad, sort of. So this is one of the things I can learn from this in public administration. I don't have to take my ego to a very high level. Things are temporary, and even failures for that matter and successes for that matter are temporary. So I need to remain calm in all the situations with all the respect that I'm getting in public administration, public services. I need to stay calm, stay composed on the ground. So I think, sir, that is my takeaway from mandala art.
Sir.
Good morning, MEDHA.
Good morning, sir.
How are you feeling?
So I'm fine, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
In context to the discussion what you were doing with sir.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned for the freebies.
Yes, sir.
For the freebies.
Yes, sir.
You are in favor that if you want to provide freebies, you want the bus to be.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
So I want to know your opinion on should the freebies be given. What is your view on this? I mean, we have seen some politicians also. They do politics in the name of freebies.
Yes, sir.
And you have read the subject also, sociology now.
Yes, sir.
So please highlight your views here. I want to know more.
So I would like to divide the freebies in two sets. One is the productive ones, and the other one is the unproductive ones. So the productive ones, I would include a free bus ride for women. It may not be that good for me as a woman, but for the women of a certain section of our society who are working. For example, sir, in Delhi buses, we see so many women traveling who are basically maids or domestic helpers. So for them, it's a very good situation, win-win situation. They're able to work also, have economic independence at a lower cost. So, sir, if freebies of these natures are provided, then it's a good step. But if you're giving liquor, or if we are giving instruments which are not so productive, then freebies is a problem, sir.
So do you agree electricity is productive or not if given as freebies?
So electricity up to a mark, I think, is productive, because then we are having a domino effect with it. For example, if somebody's children want to go for e-learning, then electricity is a must. So they need to have charging points, they need to have everything around so that they are able to go for online education. Similarly, sir, for many things electricity is required. For example, the farm, sowing it, like giving it water and everything. So
you agree to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Also, you mentioned about the Instagram promotion of the art as per the discussion you were doing.
Yes, sir.
So, as a civil servant,
Yes, sir.
should a civil servant be having such a social media presence and making that public image? What is your viewpoint? Should a bureaucrat focus on making the public image using the social media, or should ensure the principle of anonymity, which is one of the foundational value as well for a bureaucrat? What is your view here?
So rather than going for personal image, one should always strictly adhere to anonymity, sir. But then I think that social media can be used to propagate what is happening in one's department. For example, rather than posting what my lifestyle is, it would be better if I post what all new things the railways is doing as an organization, because then so many people on social media and will be able to generate some sort of
As a bureaucrat,
yes.
should we focus on making public image or using social media or not?
So not for oneself, but for the organization.
Okay,
We
good.
can use it for grievance redressal as well, sir.
Okay. My third question is regarding the city Kanpur. You have mentioned father's present postal address is in
Yes.
Kanpur, right?
So now he's transferred to Lucknow, sir.
Okay, so you have been to Kanpur?
Yes, sir. My college was in Kanpur, sir.
Okay,
HPTIS.
so recently there is a slum, we can say, or the death of the leather industry in Kanpur. Do you agree?
Sir, it's not death. It is just that they're not able to survive with changing times.
It's declining.
Yes, sir. It's
Any
declining.
reasons particularly?
So one is the environment sustainability that we are focusing on. That is leading to a decline. So the other is that all the rivers are polluted because of the tanning and all the processes. The chromium that is being used. So the government is putting strict bans on leather industry. So next is that there are alternative products like plant leather that are getting promoted. So if we stick to the old age norms of animal tides being used for leather making, so they are bound to face a challenge by this, sir.
Is there any correlation with cow vigilantism?
So to some extent there is, because now we are focusing on the productive capabilities of the cow. Certainly, sir, it is. There is an issue with cow vigilantism, sir.
Okay. My last question to you.
Yes, sir.
Since you have knowledge in civil engineering, you also have knowledge now of the subject sociology. And as per the discussion of the, in context of the infrastructure of the train, how you correlate these things, and this knowledge will help you in giving public service as a bureaucrat tomorrow if selected. So how this knowledge, you see, will help you or help others and public as well in boosting what positive and constructive things you can do in context to this knowledge? I just want 2 or 3 points from you.
So I think sociology has given me another layer in my understanding of the society. For example, if there is a PM Awas Yojana which is linked to civil engineering, I can give it on the name of the woman, the head of the family, as the head of the family. But that might not change the things on ground. Sociology has given me deeper insights on understanding that to actually bring about a change, I need to empower that woman in terms of economics, in terms of having access to all the facilities and resources that she needs. Just by giving a reservation in the panchayats, that might not be the most effective solution, because then we see panchayat pati as a problem. This insight has been given to me by sociology to a deeper extent, that we need to empower our women so that they are able to do better. So these are few things that all these 3 would help me in the services, sir.
Okay, excellent. Sir.
Okay, Medha,
Yes.
you got into railway traffic service in 2021,
To say 2019.
2019. So that's almost 4 years now. Where are you posted at the moment?
So Prayagraj.
Prayagraj. As?
So ATM planning, assistant traffic manager, planning and general.
Okay. Railway traffic is a very good service. Why do you want to change now?
So while thoroughly agreeing to the point that railway traffic is a very good service, so I just want to expand my domain, because right now as I see it, we are operational only in the Indian Railways, and outside of it we don't have any reach. But by getting into the administrative services, I'll be able to have a broader diversity and greater insight into the society as a whole, sir.
But then you have given your choice over and above IAS as IPS and IFS also.
Yes, sir.
So suppose if you get IPS, would you leave your current job and go as a police officer?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm planning to do, sir. So it's because again the police service will offer me broader diversity, sir. So because we'll be working with the public and we'll be able to solve their grievances if we are on ground as police services.
Okay, okay. And in foreign service?
So then I'll be able to represent my nation in front of the others and again help my country to have a better representative, sir.
Okay. So, Vande Bharat trains. A number of Vande Bharat trains have been introduced and are being planned.
Yes, sir.
But the maximum speed to which a Vande Bharat train attains is hardly about 150, 160 kilometers per hour.
Yes, sir.
Whereas in all the Western countries, even in the neighboring China, the fastest train is probably 500 kilometers per hour.
Yes.
Why we are not able to increase the speed? Where is the problem?
So one problem that I understand from the ground is that if we have a slow train running in front of Vande Bharat, it is obstructing the speed of the Vande Bharat that is coming from behind, because trains will move in sections. So if this train is moving at a slower pace, this will obstruct the speed of this.
But then it's up to your planning. If you plan in such a way that one particular route is kept free.
So, but with so many Vande Bharat, it would be difficult to keep so many tracks free, because already, sir, our operational capacity, we are utilizing it to 130%. So, it is not that feasible on the ground to keep the routes free, sir.
Okay, that's one reason.
Yes, sir. See, the other is the track capacity. While we are moving new train sets in the form of Vande Bharat, the tracks remain the same. Their capacity remains the same, and we are giving blocks also, sir, for maintenance. So most of the time there is speed limit on certain sections. These can be both temporary speed restrictions and permanent speed restrictions, sir. So on that stretch, any train will move at a slower speed, sir. So overall, the average speed of the train would come down because of that operational factor, sir. So third is that we need more improvisations, because the airflows that is coming from ahead, and also the electricity that has been provided on the OHE lines, so that has to be implemented at a better scale to ensure that our trains run at a faster speed, sir.
Okay. I'm asking you a hypothetical question. Suppose you are posted as a district magistrate or as a superintendent of police, and you are faced with a law and order situation. There is a restive crowd and you are asked to control it, and people are not listening to you. How would you go about it?
So one is that I'll have a force at my disposal. So because that will have the effect of having an effect that the others will feel there is some presence of police machinery around. So despite not doing anything, even that khaki vardi will have an effect on the people, that people will try to tone themselves down.
It may or may not have.
Definitely, sir. So the second would be that we can speak to the local leaders, be it the religious leaders or the ones that are operating on ground, the ones who are actually causing such skirmishes. So if we are able to speak to them and ask them to handle the situation, I think they'll be better placed than us to handle those people who are in their direct contact, sir. So that is one thing that can be done.
And if it doesn't work?
So then I think we'll have to call more police in, sir, just to have that deterring effect.
Well, calling more police is always not feasible.
True, sir.
And you will never have enough police to control a situation. So what do you do in such situations?
So I think we can take people into preventive detention, some of them, so as to have
You have a crowd of 10,000 people and you have a police contingent of 20 people or 30 people or even say 50 people. How many people will you take into detention?
So I think a fire in the air would soothe things up, but then that would be
Fire
a
in
last
the
resort.
air.
Yes, sir. So that would be the last
Firing
resort.
in the air is never allowed. It's not done.
Okay, sir. So, I'm not sure, sir. So I think that's the.
You will have to use force
Yes, sir.
depending upon the situation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है, but I think
How much did you get last time?
Sir, in 2019 in the interview, sir.
Interview, yes.
So once I got 193 and the other time I got 180, sir.
so twice you have been to the interview,
Yes, sir.
and you got 193 when you got into the railway traffic service.
Yes, sir.
And 180 was when?
So the next year, 2020, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So you're not selected, but
Sir, I was in the reserve list. I missed by 1 mark, so I was out of the list, sir.
so you kindly wait outside. We'll let you know.
Definitely, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So MEDHA, absolutely very confident and very good personality overall, and very glad to literally talk to you here. But apart from all this, yes, there are some few points that I would like to tell you
Yes, sir.
that can help you to improve.
Yes, sir.
Like for example, we can avoid few things while giving the answer, so we should not go in excess. I'll give you some examples, like you use the word, one of the word freebies, where
Freebies.
I pick the question.
Yes, sir.
But like Sarpanchpati,
Yes, sir.
you use the word.
Yes,
You
sir.
use the word khaki vardi. Now khaki vardi can literally open a window of one nation, one uniform topic.
Yes.
If you're prepared,
Yes.
absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not prepared, then it can cause literally some,
Yes, sir.
marks kahin na kahin. Then Kavach ke respect mein, definitely there is a topic that should be there, I think, if most probability is there.
Yes, sir.
So I can say accident, Odisha accident, if Kavach would have been used, what advantage, disadvantage, be prepared. Be prepared in the context that people were there in the first class AC, they were like viral video going on. So many people went into the first class AC. Such topics are there. Relevance of UN. So try to think in these dimensions also, because they could be the open topic, like mandala art, like badminton is another one of the topics. We have not touched it.
Yes, sir.
Right? Sociology, civil engineering, both can be clubbed, and then civil engineering में आपको depth में भी drill किया जा सकता है, maybe.
Yes.
So please be prepared in that aspect, and definitely that would be my constructive feedback. But overall, yes, being positive. Sir.
आपके आर्गुमेंट जो हैं रेशनल तो हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा आपको और उसमें सब्जेक्ट को थोड़ा सा वो ज़्यादा वो कर जाते हैं एक्सप्लेन करने में, जो उसकी जो सेंट्रल आइडिया है सब्जेक्ट की, जो उससे थोड़ा सा डेविएट होते हैं. वैरायटी ऑफ सब्जेक्ट ठीक है, लेकिन स्विच करने में थोड़ी सी दिक्कत होती है.
Yes.
अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट में.
Yes, sir.
और जबकि आपके पढ़ाई में बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट्स रहे हैं, बीच में भी आपने खूब चेंज किए हैं,
जी सर.
लेकिन एट सेम टाइम जब आप स्विच करते हैं सब्जेक्ट से तो थोड़ा सा दिक्कत आपको होती है. और डेप्थ ऑफ इंटरेस्ट जो है वो आपका अपनी एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर में जिस तरह से है वैसा सब्जेक्ट्स में थोड़ा सा कम है.
ओके सर.
उस पर आपको थोड़ा काम करने की ज़रूरत है. और जो जजमेंट हैं आपके वो ऑनेस्ट हैं, प्रैग्मेटिव हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा वर्ल्डली रेशनलिज्म ज़्यादा है, थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकल रेशनलिज्म उसमें कम है. सो मैं इस पे थोड़ा आपको सजेस्ट करूँगा काम करने में. बाकी मेरे हिसाब से आपका बहुत अच्छा है, अपनी सब्जेक्ट पकड़ आपकी अच्छी है और प्रेजेंटेशन भी अच्छा है.
So MEDHA, overall you're very good, but yes, a few suggestions to make it even better.
Yes, ma'am.
See, one thing is you're already in the services, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So have that confidence, I'm already there, what do I have to lose? You're getting a little nervous.
Yes.
Right now, very stiff.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
stiff होने की ज़रूरत नहीं. The minute you're stiff, your mind becomes stiff. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's one thing important. You're already there. है ना, क्या है? नहीं आएंगे तो नहीं आएंगे, है ना हमारे पास कुछ. But you need to aim for it. And
Yes,
it's my feeling that if you give it, I think, if you say that I really want to do this, say it. Instead of saying it'll help me give more administrative this, that, this thing and wider reach, that's okay, you say that. But yeah, I really want to do that. That's what I wanted to do, but something of that kind, little more enthusiasm ke saath, a little bit. Just think about it and formulate your words. And a little more reading,
Yes,
so that your clarity comes in your mind on what are the main issues.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll help you to focus and cut answers, little bit. And little bit of, saying what do I have to lose, and just practice a little more of how to give your replies. It'll help you to, with a focused this thing. And talk to yourself. I always say talk to yourself in the mirror. A few questions, make out a few questions and say, ye cheeze mere ko I need to revise. Look into the mirror and give the answers. So you will see, you get more focus in your mind. Or people also say you can record your answers. So then when you listen back, you'll understand where you are going beyond.
Yes, ma'am.
And as mentioned, otherwise, it'll go from one question to another, so the essential question is finished. So try and get a focused answer. It was all very good and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, ma'am.
When is your interview?
Sir, not yet scheduled, sir.
But it will be quite near the budget,
Yes, sir.
likely. Right?
Yes, sir.
और देखो, you have an excellent personality, smile है, सब कुछ है, and you can do very well, कोई problem नहीं है. But because you are already in the railways,
Yes, sir.
so एक तो the bar will be higher for you,
Yes, sir.
and things may get into that,
Yes, sir.
right? So be very clear as to what are the plus and minus of railway budget being merged into the main budget.
Yes, sir.
उसको देख लेना ठीक से. And then you should know कि per kilometer रेल ट्रैक बनाने का, रेल रन करने का ऑपरेशनल कॉस्ट क्या है, फिक्स कॉस्ट क्या है, you should know it very well. vis-a-vis road, because your father is in the road transport, तो road का क्या है, इसका क्या है, and even waterways. At least you should know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is expected कि you have thought about all these. And whereas you are a gold medalist in civil engineering, so if I was in your place, I would take the interview my way. Like, whereas civil engineering done great work in railways. Like, you can say recently they have done very good work to remove these unmanned crossings.
Yes, sir.
They have made so many underpasses everywhere. If you have the numbers, speak it out.
Yes, sir.
Right? That in last so many years, so many underpasses have been made to prevent these accidents and all that.
Yes, sir.
It's something which is very remarkable which has happened, which public has started noticing, right? Or even that highest bridge in the world, that on Chenab.
Yes, sir.
So these are things which, if you get a chance, why do you feel great about railways? You can put it across.
Yes, sir.
And then you can take the interview away.
Yes, sir.
Like, I didn't ask you about railways. You said roadways and also railways you spoke.
Yes, sir.
Once you spoke, you opened the window.
Yes, sir.
Right? So you choose which window you want to open. But behind that window, you should be prepared. Right? If you are smart, you can take the interview your way. Give the leads, but at the right occasion and knowing what you are talking.
Yes, sir.
So you can do well. So these are some things, right?
Yes.
You are an excellent candidate. You can do well. Haji.
Medha,
Yes, sir.
I'll just sum up. Most of the points have been covered,
Yes, sir.
right? You have done well.
Thank you, sir.
We told you in the beginning.
Yes, sir.
And I hope that in the next interview, in the main interview, you are able to cross 200. You have the potential to do much better than what you achieved last time, 193,
Yes, sir.
right? Certain points which I will just repeat, not that these have not been mentioned. One is the focused answer. Answer what you have been asked. If you divert,
Yes.
then you're opening, the floor for others to ask other questions.
Yes, sir.
So give focused answer. Then how you dress for the final interview
Yes, sir.
and how you sit. I saw you kept on fiddling with your fingers. Why do you do that?
Okay.
It's a sign of nervousness.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Right?
I'll do that, sir.
She pointed out that you have the personality, you have the smile,
Yes, sir.
and you have the capability. Why become nervous? And you already have IRTS in your pocket.
Yes,
Nothing happens, it is there.
Yes, sir.
You are aiming for IAS,
Hmm.
okay, then you, if necessary, you shout from the rooftop, I want this, I will get it. Right? Now this is the attitude.
Yes.
This is what you should do. Then you have plenty of time. Even your dates have not come for the final interview. What newspapers do you read?
So presently Hindu and Indian Express. I'll be adding Times of India soon.
Okay, if possible, read a newspaper published from abroad, just in case questions are asked on the foreign affairs.
Yes, sir.
It will give you a better grounding, right?
Yes.
Then railways,
Yes, sir.
as he said that you have set the bar higher. The moment they say that you are okay, you are in railway traffic, then questions will naturally be asked on railways.
Yes.
So prepare on that.
Mm.
And civil engineering, you are a gold medalist.
Yes, sir.
You should be prepared to answer questions from civil engineering side also.
Yes, sir.
And finally, you have mentioned badminton in your hobby, and some mandala art you have already answered.
Yes, sir.
So this is another field from which questions can be asked in the final interview, right?
Yes, sir.
You have the potential and you will do it very well.
Thank you so much,
Good
sir.
luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
If I may just add, sir, everything will be asked from your DAF.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
prepare everything what is there, what you've mentioned. You know,
Yes.
on all the main things, just prepare on all those. As I said, that will help you. You know, civil engineering, badminton, even green club you've mentioned.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
you know, environment pay, COP 28 abhi hua hai. So all these things, just be aware, little bits of everything. So, question can be asked from anywhere, but mainly from your DAF.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
All
sir.
the best.
Thank you, ma'am.